We're back at it again, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna do a boxing video, and we're gonna go to the boxing gym for a little bit because lately I've been feeling really fidgety, been wanting to hit something. So, like I said, I'm preparing for this tattoo like it's a fight. I'm telling you, I gotta put in that work because once I get this tattoo done, I'm not gonna be able to work out, train, or do anything for the next 2 weeks. So I'm counting it down. So I'm here and I'm really pumped up now. I'm really pumped up. Alright, what's up everybody? We're officially back. We're officially back, y'all. So, we was at the boxing gym. We had a good workout. My left foot, I realized when I was training really hard, my left foot started getting agitated again. So what happened was, before we went to Miami, which was like, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, I was cleaning out the garage. I was cleaning out the garage and I stepped on like a thumbtack. I remember. Thumbtack. I don't know if we got one around here. We got like a steroid thing. So we'll just use steroid as an example. So I stepped on a thumbtack through when I was wearing sandals, and it's like the middle of my foot, it like pierced through the sole, and it was stuck. And when I took it out, it started bleeding really bad, and I had to like bandage it. Ever since then, it's just been healed up, but it hasn't like healed all the way. And then now I notice that every time like I step on it, it hurts. So people are telling me like, you probably got an infection going on down there. You need to go get it checked out. So I'm kind of like a little nervous about that, you know, because I hope it's nothing too serious where I gotta, like delay and recover. Because like my pet peeve is just when things happen to me, I have to recover and take rest. Like, I just got done being sore. I just got done. It's been a crazy journey. I almost died, overdosed. And I took like 2 years to recover. 2 years to recover from that. And forcefully, I had no option. So it's just been a wild roller coaster. Everybody's been going into the hospital in and out, doing tests, and you just gotta take care of it. I'm at the point where I'm realizing that like, hey, we're getting at the point of age where we got to be careful of what we do. We can't be monkeying around like we're 16 and 17 anymore. We ain't 16 no more, man. You know, our body's not strong like that anymore. I can't jump fences like the way I used to. I can't do some hardcore, you know, because every time I'm at work, I'm always bouncing up and down, and then I realize like, man, this is kind of hard on my joints. Because I'm a big, bulky guy now. I'm not skinny and featherweight anymore because I've gained a lot of size. So I think that's Emily. But anyways, so that's what's been going on with me lately. So right now we're about to make some hydration drinks. We're gonna blend the fruits into these jars, which I like doing because it's easier, it's more convenient, and it's faster. I don't care what other people say. You're taking the vitamin, you're stripping it away from whatever. It's the same thing. It goes in your stomach and it digests. It's just less work. So I really don't care what other people say. You know, it's more convenient for me. So we're gonna do the oranges first. So one thing I wanted to talk about with y'all guys is y'all don't worry, man. Don't worry. Life is gonna figure itself out, you know. Don't worry if you don't have a job and you're stuck in a position where you're unemployed and you're just going on Indeed and just worried about what's the next gig you're gonna get. This is the best time where you could take your time. And my biggest advice and what I've done for that was just pray to God. I'm not a religious I'm not a religious person, but I believe that when things happen to me that are out of my control and like I get laid off or get fired, the inevitable happens. That's God trying to get your attention, saying, hey, I need your focus here and I need you right here. Focus on me. Be with me. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about your next meal. Don't worry about how you're gonna make it through the storm, because I'm recording a video. Yeah, finishing out the video. Yeah, so don't worry about the storm, because when I was not homeless, but when I was with no job and a lot of money in debt, my mind went to the worst things possible, the worst case scenario. Or you're thinking maybe I might have to just turn heel and rob a bank, you know, or pull out some crazy stunts. But literally I told myself, like, well, if we get worried, that means our mind's in chaos. Because when you worry, your mind's in pieces. It's shattered. It's shattered. It's not thinking. It's not thinking as one unit. So you gotta stop worrying, no matter how ugly it is. If you're about to die, if you got a disease, if you got an injury. Because whenever something bad happens to me, I don't let my body go to the worst parts. I don't let my mind go to the worst parts where my head goes to. At first, the first 4 years after high school, I did. I always let my mind go to the worst case scenario and I always overthought. But in reality, it never really happened. Never really happened. So what I did was conquer the mind, and everything else will fade away as an illusion. Conquer your mind. Once you conquer your mind, you literally have the power and the strength that God's instilled into you to believe and have faith, to recover your body and your cells. Once you believe and you have a high spirit and you start having a good mood, your water cells inside of your body will electrolyte. You know, that'll be on fire. You'll feel a natural tingle sensation overcome your body. You are literally casting spells over yourself of protection and healing. You're healing yourself like Wolverine-like properties. That's what worked for me at the time. But the primary source is, I'm not going to let this define me. I'm not going to let this hold me down. I'm going to go to the one and only true God and talk to him and give my burdens to him and realign myself with them, because clearly what we've been doing for the past 6 months was not it. It wasn't part of the plan, and it crumbled. It crumbled. So I overdosed 2 years ago, and I remember 2 years ago. It's crazy how it's been 2 years, but it's been 2 years. I overdosed and I died, and I remember that was the feeling. I was like, Rich, this is it. We cannot come back from this. We're vomiting out blood. It's not looking good. The heart rate's beating like a F1 Formula car. I can't get it slowed down, and my mind went to the craziest place. You done did it. There's no brakes on this train. There's no return. So literally in that moment before I took my last breath, I told the Lord, because I know God's real. That's the only thing. When you're on your deathbed and you're near seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, you know God's real, because that's all I saw was a light in the end of the tunnel. And I told myself in my mind, because I couldn't talk, I spoke to that voice in my mind saying, Lord, if you spare me and give me a second chance, I will make it right. And this time, I'm not BSing. I'm not beating the bush run. I'm for real finna log down and erase myself from the world. Go incognito, disappear. Because this is how serious it is. So literally when I said that, my last words were that before I blacked out. And once I blacked out from choking on my own blood and vomit, and I couldn't breathe, and when they hit me with that narc, that was it. I didn't wake up till a day later. I didn't know where I was, and when I woke up, I was just so relieved. I was so relieved to get like another chance to live today, and I was so upset with myself, because it took that much to really wake me up and to really get my attention. Like, hey, you almost croaked, dude. So you gotta keep your promise now. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. Like, oh, now I gotta keep my word. At this point, I can't even play. I didn't speak. I didn't talk to him. I didn't ask too many questions. I just knew the assignment. I knew the assignment. And that was the last day I ever worried about anything. That was the last day I worried about anything. That was the last night I worried about anything. Meanwhile, I was in debt, no job, all the IRS money. It wasn't looking too good. And on top of that, we damaged our heart and we damaged our body. We can't box no more. We can't go to the gym no more. We can't eat greasy pizza anymore. We can't eat chicken wings no more. You gotta stop. So when I stopped, I was just happy. I remember telling myself I was happy that I was breathing. My heart's at a good rate, not a fast rate, not a slow rate, but at a good rate. It's skipping a beat, but it's at a good rate. And I was just telling myself, like, you know what, God, I know you're trying to get my attention, and this time you have all of my attention, because this is all I have left. This is all I have left, was just my health, my heart, my body, my eyes, my brain. That's all I had left. I sold the car to pay the IRS off. I lost a job so I could focus on rebuilding my heart, because it was hard to work after that, because when you damage your heart and your liver, you can't, even going up that's 2 stories worth of stairs is like, it's like climbing the Eiffel Tower. It hurted that much to the point like I gotta hermit down and like hide away in a cave. And I said, well, if I'm gonna hide away in a cave, I'm gonna do it God's way. So what I did, because I knew God was trying to talk to me, so what I did was sold the cars, deleted the Instagram accounts, deleted all the IG accounts, because when you have all those social medias, this is a distraction and it makes you become more worldly. And at the time, I had no choice but to delete it, because I received death threats after my overdose. People heard about that I was in the hospital, and they were happy to hear that I was in my deathbed. So I'm not going to name names, but they know who they are, because I know they're watching the channel. I'm just going to say, God bless you. You know, I believe that everybody deserves happiness. In the end, I just come back to Jesus. That's all I'm going to say. Come back to Jesus. And I'm not perfect. I come short every day. So I deleted Instagram and I deleted all those social media apps. And I was tempted to sell my phone. That's how deep it was. I was tempted to sell my phone and not have a number at all. But my mother convinced me, like, no, don't do it, because we still need to get a hold of you in case something bad were to happen. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do that. And even if it was just a flip phone, that's how serious I was to recommitting back to the Lord. So for those 2 years, I was listening to the word on YouTube. Before I read the Bible, I was listening to the word, because I have a hard time reading the Bible. And so I was listening to the word, and on top of that, I was listening to the word, and I was reading, and then I was doing the fruit fast. So I was just eating nothing but vegetables and fruits. And people were asking me, how are you eating protein? Well, I was eating almonds, hazelnuts. I was just eating any nuts, like peanuts and eggs. I was eating eggs, but they were boiled. They weren't. Speaking of eggs, let me turn that thing off. They were boiled, and I wasn't eating no chicken, no beef, no fajita. I wasn't eating none of that for like a whole year. So I was just, and Muscle Kali was doing it at the time, and I was more dedicated and more inspired to do it, because I joined a community that were fruitarians, so we kind of helped each other to stay dedicated to the fast. And in a way, to me, I did it as a fast, as a religious. It kind of helped, because I was doing it as a part of my religion, and I was fasting. So I'm like killing 3 birds with 1 stone, and I'm also, you know, proving to God my loyalty. Sold the car, was wearing brokey clothes, was being invisible. No one knew who I was, and this is when I started working at my job, and just nobody knew who I was. And and I blended in so easily. I look like a migrant, y'all. If I wear like brokey clothes, I look like a migrant. And I had nothing against that. I kind of miss those days, and I'm thinking about going back to those days, because I felt more free and I had less worries. And so as I did that fruit fast, and I was committed. Gosh, it's crazy how that came and went. It felt like yesterday. Literally, it felt like yesterday. And I remember just going to the doctor that my third time, and they were hooking me up to the machine and checking my heart rate. And I remember it was a year and a half into the fast, and I was reading the Word, going to church, not religiously. Every 3 weeks I would go to church, and I would contribute, and I would give money, but I wouldn't give money to the church because I do it digitally. I would donate money to people that are actually helping the world, and that are actually and at the time the LA fires were going on, the war was kicking start, so I was sending money to people that were helping towards that. So, and it wasn't a lot, it was like $10 to $20, but it's still a lot to those people over there, because at the time that's how much I was really making. I didn't have that much money, because you gotta keep in mind I was in debt, so really I had no money. So my checks literally will be zapped away. So I pretty much felt like I was working for free because I was paying off my debt. So I couldn't donate that much. The Lord knows. Lord knows what I can and what I can't. So I remember after my overdose, I got a green light from the doctor, and I just started working at a new job because my body was somewhat, after a year passed by, my heart felt good, I felt strong. I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna wait on the doctor, I'm gonna start going to the gym again. So I started. And I was only in the gym for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is all I needed. I would just do 15 of these, 15 of these, 15 squats, done. I don't care what y'all people say, but at the time I was focusing on healing, not bodybuilding, not becoming a boxer. I was just focusing on just keeping the blood flow going and not just sitting on the couch all day doing nothing. I had to move around, so I went to the gym. So after the year and a half, I went to my last doctor's appointment. They hooked me up to the machine. They did some tests. My lady, she came back to me. She was like, and you're not gonna believe this, but what you did for the past year and a half, it reversed everything that's ever happened to you. And when I heard those words, I was just so happy, because I felt like it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. It was not easy. She was like, you can go back to the gym. You can hit it harder than what you did before, and yeah, you're good to go. You know, just take care of yourself. Now you know what to stay away from. Now you know you can spread your story and continue to grow. After that, I left the hospital, and I was like, God is good, man. God is good. Because people that went through what I went through, they're dead. They're dead. They're not even alive. And I was like, my health is worth more than $1 billion. I would not sell my health for $1 billion if I only got to live for like a week. No, my life's more valuable than that. Because I was talking to God, and I told God, thank you for so much. You know, like, now the next step is just to continue going to work. And I didn't have a car for 2 years. Well, not for a year. I didn't have a car for like 9 months. 9 months. I didn't have a car, so I was already just borrowing cars from my family. So once we got there, yeah, look at all that. Look, it looks all good. Once we got there to that point, I was like, all right. We got our heart and our liver back in function. Now we need to lose some weight. But let's just start picking up where we left off a year and a half ago. So I started training like crawl, walk, and then run. You know, so that's how I approached my training regimen. And at the time, I was keeping it simple, one thing at a time. And what else? So little do I know, God was actually working in my life, and I wasn't really realizing what was really happening around me. He was reversing everything that I did to myself and doing and rebuilding it the way He intended to have it. Landed an opportunity with my job. I worked so many hours, saved so much money, made so much money, to the point it was more than what I could ask for. And I told myself, like, this is proof. This is proof that, like, if I try to do things on my own, it's not gonna come out good. That's when you gotta realize that you gotta log down and really just enough's enough. Enough is enough. You get to a point in the day where you wake up and you're just like, I had it. What am I doing? I've been doing this for so long. Now that the day has come, I don't mind going ghost, because things didn't come out good. So you just surrender. Once you surrender, man, my life changed, dude. So every day I was thanking the Lord just for being able to breathe. And I was like, I get to go to work today. I get to make a difference. I get to eat today, and I get to breathe today. I have all bodily functions. I can think, breathe, react, and do what I must, put the work in. I wasn't focused on making any friends. I wasn't focused on becoming part of the world. I was just backing off everything. Rooms that my name was mentioned in are no longer being mentioned in. Contracts that were there for me have been ripped up, you know. And I was like, you know what? If it's God's will, it's God's will. If I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna go where He wants me. So I stopped boxing. It hurted me because I stopped boxing, because that was like something I enjoyed doing. But at the time, I realized, like, it destroyed us. It destroyed us. So we gotta do things right. And what I mean by the destroyed us is, you box so much, you lose money. You gain the publicity, you gain the power, you gain the respect, but in reality, you're losing the money, because it costs money to box. So it just made you broke. No point in that. So I stopped. And I was like, let me focus on the one that's in control of all of it. Obviously, he backed me in the corner. So I'm going to go back to God. It's time. It's time. Enough's enough. We got to chill out. We got to stop. Now that we got our heart and we got everything back together normally, we have a fighting chance. So you go to God, you talk to God in the shower, you talk to God while you're driving, talk to God while you're at work. When work is all hectic, tune everybody out and just be like, "Well, Lord, how was your day?" Because clearly mine is, everybody's panicking, you know. And then I have like a sense of overwhelm that, like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. You're getting paid by the hour, don't worry about it. Little do you know, I wake up one night and I'm just staring at the wall, listening to the word, and then one of my manager calls me. He's just like, "Hey man, I got a job for you, man. Come over here. We really need it." Next thing you know, I'm just like, that happened overnight. I just got a phone call at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. I was like, what the heck? Okay, I'm driving halfway from my house, 2 a.m. in the middle of the night, and I'm like, this is all going too fast. I was not expecting this. And that's how it happens. I all there is a snowball effect. It just keeps going up and up and up and up. You go down and then you slowly go up and up and up, but you don't even notice the process. You don't even notice. So that's what I said, y'all. That's what I said. We're gonna get some ice. We're gonna put some ice in here. I learned this from one of my little cousins, a younger cousin. Her name's Violet. She taught me to put ice in the blender. So every time I do this, I think about her. The way she'll grab the ice was funny. So, where was I? Oh yes. So that's how it goes. That's literally how it goes. So wherever you are, just when you feel like you had enough, just lock in. I hate using that term, but I have no other way to say it. I like being raw with the way I talk. Just focus, for real. Focus. Put the distractions aside. I know you like the world, and I know you want to become one with the world, and I know you want to keep doing it. But I'm telling you, it's always gonna be there. But what's not gonna be there is your success and your foundation in your home. So stop worrying. Listen to the word digitally, because I know you're busy. I know you're busy. So listen to the word while you're driving. Still listen to that trap or that rap. Just listen to it for at least five minutes. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Just listen to the word. Keep it simple. All right, I listened to the word. All right, I'm back to my music. At least you got the word and planted into your head. The seed was planted. So just keep it easy. Keep it simple. And before you even know it, you're picking up the Bible, you're going to a church, and you know you like being secluded, and you like being to yourself, and you like taking care of yourself. Next thing you know, your names start being mentioned in rooms again that you never thought your name was going to be mentioned in. And next thing you know, people are talking about you. You don't even know that people are talking about you. I have managers and really high individuals nowadays mentioning my names in rooms I have not even entered in. They're like, oh, so-and-so is looking pretty good. He might, he's working in the favor. I do give him a chance. Next thing you know, boom, car, boom, house, boom. You're just like, whoa, what the hell? I'm sorry. But that literally happened to me. I was like, whoa, when did all this happen? I'm talking to my friend. I'm like, you see this? Like, dude, a year, 2 years ago, I was in debt. And now I'm like, what the heck? God is good, man. So nowadays I gotta walk with caution, and I gotta really, really defend myself from the world. I put on my daily armor and I try to be better, but some days like I come short, and I've experienced a lot of pain and loss for the past 6 months. So during those times, I did a lot of crying. For those months where I was no car and just didn't know anybody at that job, and I was crying because I had my health, and I was crying because I felt very lonely. I felt very lonely, and at the time, everybody at home was not really friendly with each other. So, and I had no choice but to suck it up and to live with it. So literally that's my testimony, and that's what I want to tell y'all, because coming home from the gym, I just had that feeling like I need to tell y'all that. So, because I know some of y'all are going through that. So I'm gonna get back to y'all, because this blender is really loud, and I don't want the audio to pick that up, because I hate hearing the sound of this blender. So I'm gonna pause the video.